Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? This is Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I am just getting set up here. Bear with me for one moment while we wait for some of the others to join. Okay. Hey Frank, how are you? You keeping nice and warm? Hope so. What I thought we'd have a little bit of a chat about today is talking about victims of crime. So if you have been a victim of crime, there are some entitlements that are available to you. So in order to access these, first of all, when the crime has been committed, you would need to pop down to the police station and make a statement. And making a statement is a very difficult thing to do if you've been on the receiving end of an assault or some other kind of crime, I know. But the important thing is that help is available. In order to access some of the support, you would need to obtain a copy of the police statement. And the reason for that is because we need to know the statement number so that we can assist you in accessing some of these services. So what will then happen is maybe you'll have a lawyer, perhaps. You don't have to, but maybe you'll have a lawyer, and the lawyer will refer you to some psychologists in your local area. You can see any of those psychologists if you like, or if you have a psychologist you'd prefer to see, you're most welcome to take that statement along to them and explain that you'd like to access some counselling through the Victims of Crime Support Scheme. So the Victims of Crime Support Scheme entitles you to have 6 sessions of counselling with a psychologist or a mental health social worker or a counsellor that's been pre-approved by victims of crime in Victoria. I don't know, perhaps Frank and Amanda, you might be able to give us some information about other states and what their requirements are. But in Victoria, you need to be pre-approved to deliver the service for patients. So then what will happen is you go along to your first appointment and you explain to the psychologist that you want to access a service through Victims of Crime. They will do an intake session with you and take some information about your history. They will also give you an assessment. So that assessment is usually to determine where your symptoms might be lying in terms of their presence and their intensity, their frequency. And usually this might involve something like a measure of depression, anxiety, or trauma. They're the most common types of assessments. Following that, the psychologist will put in place a treatment plan for you, and she'll have, or he will have, some forms for you to sign. So you need to sign those forms after each of your 6 counselling sessions. So it starts off with 6 counselling sessions. After the 6th session, the psychologist will prepare a report, and your solicitor will take that report to the tribunal. Now, the tribunal is very different to a court. They're not saying whether somebody is innocent or guilty. The Victims Support Tribunal is wholly and solely there to support people who've been a victim of crime and to consider, on the weight of the evidence available, the extent of support that you may be entitled to. And from state to state, again, that can differ, but in Victoria, The types of support is usually things like financial compensation, for example. The court or the tribunal may approve ongoing counselling that they fund for you for a certain period of time. Your psychologist can make recommendations to the tribunal about other supports and interventions that might be helpful to you over the mid to long term. And some examples of supports that I've included in some of my reports have been things like self-defense classes for women. We've had security bars put on windows for some of our clients. Others have taken a mini break away. Others have gone on mindfulness retreats. So it's really important that you have that conversation with your psychologist about the types of non-psychological support too that you might benefit from. And then what will happen is the psychologist will make those recommendations in their report, and the tribunal will decide whether or not those recommendations can be met, and whether or not the tribunal are happy to fund them for you. Following tribunal, you're most welcome to continuing counselling. If the tribunal haven't approved ongoing sessions, that's okay. You can still continue with your usual psychologist, and Medicare will support you for the first 10 sessions by rebating you towards the cost of some of those appointments, just to make it a bit easier for you to get back into the flow and to engage. So that's a little bit of information for you there around types of support that perhaps you didn't know about that you could be entitled to if you have been a victim of crime. As I said, you do need to go to the police station though and lodge a report, and it's always really helpful to give that copy of the report to your psychologist so he or she can set up the documentation correctly from the outset and make the engagement in counselling as smooth as possible for you. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask or pop a comment in the comments box. If you like any of the information or what we're talking about today is resonating with you, it'd be really awesome if you could let me know with a bit of a thumbs up so I know that I'm providing you with useful information. If there are other topics that you'd like some guidance on or some information about too, please don't hesitate to let me know. I have another 84 of these to go, so I can most probably accommodate your needs. Okay, well, I hope everybody is having a really happy Sunday, and I'll go back to making my chicken soup now. It's starting to smell really good in here. Okay, everybody, stay warm and I'll talk to you soon. And thanks for joining me, Frank and Amanda. Bye.